Kind of summarizing our discussion, I had a couple observations. One, I think they said that the press, usually once the press got a hold of an issue and exposed it, things would kind of die down. And I'm concerned, wanted to ask them, didn't get a chance. I don't think we have nearly as many watchdogs covering Nashville as we used to. There used to be kind of like a rat's nest where the press hung out, kind of a scary part of the Capitol, but it was a very valuable part of the Capitol. We just don't have as many people covering and paying attention, which concerns me. And we obviously do have a whole lot of template legislation coming through. Don Bosch, you may have another observation.
Well, I did. I thought Harry Tindell brought up a really good point at the end of the show that unfortunately we ran out of time to talk about more, and that is the lobbyists and the influence they have. Remember, lobbyists are paid and often well paid. You don't acquire nicknames like the Golden Goose unless A, you're paid a lot, and B, you have something to give possibly the legislators might be interested in. And that's some inside baseball for Susan and I and John probably to know about, and we'll leave it there. But the problem is the disenfranchised don't have lobbyists. The mentally ill, the incarcerated, the poor, the working poor, those that can't afford health insurance. There's no real group to effectively lobby for them. And that's the inequity that happens, I think, in a state legislature that's understaffed and doesn't have the ability to write their own bills and try to write them objectively, even if sometimes in a partisan manner.
Real quick, I was just going to say, I don't know if our viewers at home know, probably the biggest lobbyist has been the telecommunications industry. AT&T pours millions of dollars in every year.
And when we think of the Golden Goose, traditionally, Susan, we often think of the booze lobby. They tend to be the ones who could throw the parties you're talking about, and they would be very powerful because they had the ability to get people together. Is that fair?
That's absolutely fair, and that doesn't happen so much anymore. The Golden Goose, a guy named Tom Hensley from Jackson, Tennessee, literally had a credit card that he would give to the legislators, and they could go buy wine or beer or whatever they wanted. And there were a couple of little party places in the hotels down there that people would gather where they had free alcohol. Now, that's all changed dramatically, and for the much better for sure on these new laws that have passed. Right now we have a new lobbyist. It's called the Gosling, who happens to be from here, represents the wine and spirits industry. But yeah, it was very different in 30 years ago, and it's much better now, we'll say that.
We appreciate the conversation and the perspective from both of you, Don and Susan, and we appreciate our viewers for tuning in. If you missed an Inside Tennessee, you can check our website on the Inside Tennessee page. We'll see you next week.